What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Build Your Own House series. Today we're gonna pick up on framing. You guys were out last time, you saw we started on the floor system. Today we're gonna jump in. We got some walls going up and they've been at it for 2 days now. Andrea was able to get out and get some footage while they were on site. And so I wanted to jump out and kind of go over a couple things here. This is gonna be a kind of a multi-day. We're gonna string together to put together for one video for you guys. So you guys aren't watching like daily framing videos. That would get a little bit boring. So as we're walking around and you guys are looking, you're probably going, what in the world is all that stacked up wood there and a hole in the top? Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Well, that's because there's actually a steel beam that goes from this guy all the way across there. And then there's another steel beam that ties in that corner there, that'll tie into the beam there. So that is just in preparation for the steel beam that's coming in, should be tomorrow. Just wanna call out a couple of things that if you're building your own home to keep an eye out for during the framing process. And one of those is going to be your headers. So on your prints, they're gonna call out what size header you're supposed to have above every door and every window. So, you know, above there is gonna have a call out there, pretty much everywhere there is a hole on the outside of the house or any load-bearing walls, you need a header. And the headers are sized depending on the span of the space and how much weight is gonna be bearing down on top of them. I'm going to show you an example of why you wanna check these things because everybody makes mistakes, right? We're all human. So an extra set of eyes never hurts. So here our prints call out for 11 1/4 LVLs above both of these. But the prints call out for a double LVL, so it's 2 of them sandwiched together. And right now we have 3 of them because you'll see that we're flushed out to the back side here. And with a 2x6 wall with a double LVL, you'll have a space for insulation so you can get rid of that big, huge thermal transfer. And same thing here, this is supposed to be a double, right now it's a triple. So we are having the framers pull a single ply out of there and a single ply out of there so we can get our insulation in there, right? It was designed and engineered for a double, so we don't need a triple. And then here you'll see we have a double 2x12. Those are supposed to be double LVLs as well. So that header is getting yoinked out and we'll use the one that comes out of there and the one that comes out of there to make the correct header for that window. Not a huge deal. It's not a lot of rework, but just something to keep an eye out for, you know, if you guys are building your own house. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about with this whole build your own house thing, and you're just tuning in, this is a series that we're putting together that we started from land selection, and we're gonna go all the way through the process, all the way till we have certificate of occupancy. And we're bringing you guys through the whole way. So if you haven't, go back, check out the first episodes of this so you can get kind of up to speed. And if you have been tuning into these, thank you so much. And as always, just let us know in the comments if you guys have questions as we're moving through this. There's gonna be things I miss all the time as we're just running through a job site, or there might be something that I don't think is worthy of noting, but somebody else may not understand or may have a question on. So if there's anything in a video you guys see that you don't understand, or if there's something I haven't touched on that you want info on, throw it in the comments below and I'll get you an answer on it. So you guys will notice, well, from the camera, I don't know if you guys will notice from the camera, but these are tall walls, right? So we're doing 10-foot main level walls in this house because this is a true 2-story, right? So we're not gonna have a 18 or 20-foot ceiling great room, like huge open. So we decided let's do 10-foot ceilings. That way it still feels like a really open, airy house. But the entryway will still be a nice 2-story deal. If you're looking over here and you see you got this big, huge opening and nothing in the bottom yet, it looks like there's just a couple boards here at the base. That's because this needed a super short space up off the ground because this is an absolutely massive window that's going in that spot there. And we have 2 more of those windows going in upstairs. Those are the most expensive windows in the house by far. I want to say those windows are about $3,000 a piece. Kind of salty. The window package in general for this house, salty, but I think it's going to look super cool. And speaking of windows, we've got that big old guy there, which actually the bottom of it's going to sit a little bit below the level of the floor. Those little wings are getting cut out, and it's going to be, once it's all done and we're in the finish stage, it'll get a nice wood cap over the top of it that'll be stained to match like the hand railings that are going upstairs. And then right there in that big, huge opening are two of those big windows going in up there. And that is our south facing direction. So this is going to flood the house with natural light, right? It's going to be great. And that is not a window. That is our fireplace wall. That's still getting framed out. Good size windows, right? And then another behemoth here. And that's our big, huge slider that we're putting in. We're doing 8 foot by 8 foot slider there. And then a big window in the kitchen above the sink. And as I'm standing here looking, I think we have an oops and an oops. I think these windows are supposed to be framed at the same height as that guy. So I will go look at the prints real quick and give that a check. And again, this is why you come out and you do site visits. So we'll roll the prints out real quick, take a look at what those two windows are supposed to be and see if that's correct and my memory is right, or if they're goofed up and we got a fixed frame. So give me a second to wheel the prints out here. Okay, so that back window that we were talking about, that guy there, is a 2 35/53s for that opening. And these are supposed to be 35/53s, 35/53s. So those two windows are framed wrong. We'll have to pull the bottoms out, frame it up, and run sheathing up higher. They will match the height of that across there. So, right, these are why you want to make sure, again, building your own house, come out daily, check the progress, and compare the progress to the prints. And it's so much easier to fix things at this stage than it is to try and fix them down the road when you're going to set your windows and you find things that are off. This isn't the end of the episode. We will come back out tomorrow, film a little bit more, wrap this one up. It's gonna be a solid 24 hours for me. It'll be 2 seconds for you guys. We'll see you. All right, so we're back on the job site. It's the next day. The first thing I want to touch on today is all too frequently on social media, it's a highlight reel. Everything's a highlight reel. Everything is sunshine and roses, and that's just not the real world. And I'm thinking back about the things I was mentioning yesterday that were done wrong, that we have to get fixed and taken care of. And I was questioning myself, right? Should I be putting all that stuff in the video? And I think I should be. I think I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I don't show you the real world of construction, because anybody who tells you they have a job site that runs perfect, never has a delay, never has to fix anything, BS. It doesn't happen. So I just wanted to say that the reason you guys are seeing the things that we have to fix as we're going is because I think you should see it. So you know, if you get into your project and you catch things that are wrong and they've got to be fixed, you're not thinking, oh man, this only happened to me. It's just not true. It happens to everybody that builds houses. Everybody I know that builds them all have problems. We have problems, and I think we will forever. The trick is learning from the problems and making your life a little bit easier each project that you move through. So with that, today is a perfect example of why we wanted to try the Advantech X Factor. As you see, it is all soaking wet, water everywhere, because Mother Nature is Mother Nature. It has rained at least a little bit the last 17 of 19 days, and we're not in the freaking Pacific Northwest where people are used to this and it rains all the time. No, this is a crazy start to the year here. But you guys will see that we have that extra LVL removed. The thing that sucks is it got destroyed when being removed. And we got the other LVL removed. Those 2x12s still have to come out of that header so we can get LVLs there. They raised the windowsills on these. As we mentioned to you guys when we were here yesterday, we caught that those were too low. They were framed for a 72-inch window instead of a 53, right? Because we have 72 there, 72 there, 72 there, 53, 53, 53. And you guys will notice that this wall has got a big old opening in it. And it's got LVL above it. You're wondering, why is that? It's an interior wall. What could it possibly be, carrying? And this is going to be a pocket sliding door. And there's a floor system that's going to sit on that above us. So we have to carry the load from everything that's going to sit on there. And then there's going to be jacks that come down here, right? It's not just going to be this king stud on the side and a king stud on the side. So there will actually be double jack here and a double jack here to carry that load down to the floor below us. Load transfer is an important thing in building a house, and your blueprints are going to show you some of the load points. We've had some plans that show you like no load points, you just have to kind of figure them out. And we've had plans that call out all of the load points, which this house, the plans did a really good job of calling out all of your load points. So for instance, you know, we were talking about this big old sandwiched up fella here that's gonna carry an I-beam. So that load's gonna carry straight down through here to the sill plate. And then below that in the basement, even though that sits on a rim joist, we're going to make certain that that gets packed out underneath the floor system, carries that load through the floor system and down to the foundation, the entire width and depth of that beam. When you have load points like that, you need to transfer them all the way down to a structural beam or the foundation. So, right, like these beams are here because they're going to carry the load for the floor system. So you're gonna have a wall that carries a load down to a wall that's carrying a load down to a beam that carries the load. And then that beam transfers it to a support column that is tied into a footing that is below the concrete floor, right? So that load is all calculated all the way down to the footing to know what size footing, what size beams, what size lolly columns need to be in there for support. So that's today's bit of nerd information. And I'll be able to show you some better examples of it once we have stairs. So it's easy to get downstairs. And once the second floor system starts to go up, I'll be able to show you some more of that. But since yesterday, you guys see we have the fireplace wall is framed and done. They've got the rest of the office wall framed. We've got the coat closet here, powder room over here. I think that's the powder room. You know, I should know this. This was all going to be one big mechanical chase to go upstairs, but it was way too big. So we've decided we're gonna make this a built-in, and then this is going to be our mechanical chase. The floor will get cut out of it, and then our hot air ducting and our cold air returns will go up through there into the second story. And then once we're upstairs, we'll have the same detail. We're gonna do built-ins in the same spot above it on the second story, and then carry the mechanical chase up. And then this little wall here is going to be, I'm guessing it's that wall there that's gonna frame in the rest of the great room. And then there's a big old triple LVL that hangs across this space here to carry the floor system above. Not a whole lot changed. We got boss ladies over here cleaning. And actually that door there is currently framed for a 6'8", and that is actually an 8-foot door as well. So they're gonna pop that header out, move it up, put some new jacks in it, and it'll be ready for the 8-foot door that comes in there. And one thing I did not mention yesterday, getting old, guys, I'm getting old, is we are using zip sheathing as we always do. If you guys missed the episode where we started on the floor system and I was telling you about the X factor and the coating that's on it, go back and watch that. But the zip sheathing has got the same stuff, but green. So you've got your air and water barrier built into it, and then you use the tape for all your seams. Roll the tape, roll the tape. Some people seem to think you can get away with using zip without rolling the tape. It's just not the case. It takes very little time. Roll the tape. So as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys are getting some good information and some value out of this series. Let us know in the comments below if there's anything we haven't touched on that you want us to touch on, or if there's things that you know are going to be down the road that you want some detail on. Throw them in the comments. We'll make sure we get it taken care of for you. We appreciate you, and see you in the next one.